This country is a land of dreams. It can be a hard place, a cruel place, but it's where I work, and I dream of a better life for my son. So, what do you think?
Blasco's truck? Yeah, it's all right. Seen it before.
It's not Blasco's truck anymore. It's ours.
You ain't got a license.
Don't say that too loud, okay? This truck is my only chance to make this grow into something big, so we can move out of here and get you in a better school.
Well, son. Yeah, I gotta bounce.
All right, Louis. Be easy.
Gotta talk about your future.
I'm gonna make something out of this business.
Good for you, huh?
Romeo, good for us.
What happened?
They stole it.
Did you jack the truck?
I have to find him.
Yeah, I'm coming with you.
Please, this is my problem.
No, this is our problem.
Developed by Robert Kate Merton in 1934, social structure and anomie theory states that the pressure derived from social factors, such as poverty, drives individuals to commit crime in order to meet monetary success. His theory is in two parts. His anomie theory explains how societies are characterized by anomie or normlessness, where the goal-seeking behavior of individuals is subject to little regulation. As a consequence, individuals seek the fastest way, including crime, to achieve their goal. His strain theory argues that some individuals within a society are subject to special pressure for crime. For example, lower class groups that are disadvantaged and are widely denied legitimate avenues for opportunities are more prone to engage in criminal activity. His theory combines two elements: the structural factors that create an unequal or equal opportunity structure, and the cultural factors which emphasize the overpowering emphasis on monetary success in the U.S. Social structure and anomie theory addresses social conditions such as poverty or unemployment that can help achieve monetary success, but neglects to explain other types of traditional strain. Social structure and anomie theory fails to explain that there are other types of goals and delinquency. In this micro-lecture, we will explain the shortcomings of social structure and anomie theory. Moreover, the criminalization of unauthorized Mexican migrants in the United States and its effects. Social structure and anomie theory places an emphasis on cultural goals and the institutionalized norms for achieving these goals. Therefore, this requires conventional values of the culture and that the class structure offer legitimate opportunities to achieve these goals. However, what do you do when there aren't any legitimate avenues to achieve these goals? Where no matter how hard you try to abide by the law, your mere legal status makes you a criminal. The source of strain expands beyond monetary success. The immigration of foreigners into the United States has been recognized as one of the most controversial social and political problems. The Department of Homeland Security is committed to enforcing immigration in order to secure the border and keep the American people safe. Many Mexicans migrate to the United States in an attempt to pursue a better life and in hopes of realizing the American dream. However, the U.S. border presents a grim reality for Mexicans trying to migrate into the United States when they realize that they are barred from legitimate avenues of getting citizenship. The immigration of foreigners into the United States has been recognized as one of the most controversial social and political problems. The Department of Homeland Security is committed to enforcing immigration in order to secure the border and keep the American people safe. Many Mexicans migrate to the United States in an attempt to pursue a better life and in hopes of realizing the American dream. However, the U.S. border presents a grim reality for Mexicans trying to migrate into the United States when they realize that they are barred from legitimate avenues of getting citizenship. Many wonder why immigrants do not just come to the United States legally. The answer is a bit more complex than simply suggesting that people apply for citizenship. Immigrants can sometimes establish citizenship or a temporary permit that allows them to stay in the United States under certain circumstances, such as employment, family reunification, or humanitarian protections. Each of these circumstances carries strict limitations and eligibility requirements that prevent a path to legal status for many immigrants. Even though most unauthorized immigrants have lived in the United States for decades, many could live out the rest of their lives without any opportunity to become legal residents of this country. Instead, they live in the shadows until there are laws that protect them. A person makes a decision to leave their country for several reasons. Some are running away from wars, violence, prosecution, or in the pursuit of a better life. Immigrants are faced with many challenges as they migrate to the United States. When they finally make it to the United States, they find out that the American system and government work differently than in their countries. Their legal status can make them ineligible to get employment, acquire a driver's license, take out a loan, establish a bank account, among other things. In turn, immigrants grow a sense of desperation to find a way to support themselves or their family. Engaging in criminal activity becomes extremely common. Some people may engage in more drastic criminal acts than others to achieve monetary or materialistic success. Despite having a person who attempts to be a law-abiding citizen and stay out of trouble, their legal status itself criminalizes them. In some cases, the criminalization of immigrants has harmful adverse consequences when they are incarcerated for violating immigration law. The practice of incarcerating immigrants for the violation of immigration law has exposed many of them to a differential association of criminal offenders. By incarcerating them with drug smugglers and other convicted criminals, immigrants may precipitate involvement in narcotics and/or human smuggling as a means to make a living. Rather than deter them from committing more criminal offenses, the ramification of a penal approach to unauthorized immigration creates more criminal activity. The desperation to remain in the United States is much bigger than any ramifications they may face from immigration law and criminal law. To recap, Merton argued that anomie does not result simply from unregulated goals, but rather from a faulty relationship between cultural goals and the legitimate means to access them. The American dream captures a sense of limitless possibilities for immigrants. The United States promotes a broad cultural message that everyone can improve their quality of life. Americans are urged to pursue the goal of monetary success, but immigrants fall short of the protections and benefits American citizens have. Immigrants are restricted or completely denied access to legitimate avenues to establish their legal status. This limits their resources to attain employment, education, or other opportunities which may translate to deviance. They struggle to adapt to anomie through any of the adaptations described by Merton because their unlawful status alone criminalizes them. Luis Alvaro Rodriguez had been in the United States for 15 years. He operated his own business doing minor construction projects as a handyman and landscaper in Tucson, Arizona. In April 2009, Luis was driving his brother to the bus station so he could catch a ride to the border and then to the central Mexican state of Guanajuato. He was carrying $4,000 in cash for their parents back home. Police officers pulled over their car in a random traffic stop and searched their belongings. The officers found the cash and accused Luis of laundering money. Luis protested that he could prove he obtained it legally, but they confiscated the money and sent him to jail. He was given a receipt for the cash, but since he was immediately deported to Mexico, neither he nor his family recovered the money, despite handing over documentation of his income. Luis was processed through Operation Streamline, a mass trial for immigration violators, which occurs 5 days a week at the Tucson Federal Courthouse downtown. He was adamant that there should be a criminal prosecution for mulas, drug smugglers, coyotes, human smugglers, and sicarios, cartel hitmen, but Luis made it clear that he is not a criminal and he has never done anything except for working hard to support his family. Luis's experience in the courtroom terrified him. Luis was deported to Sonora, Nogales. He attempted to cross back into the United States 2 more times despite the risks associated with being apprehended again, this time with more criminal charges than the first. But his ambition to come back to his family and rebuild the life he had in the United States was bigger than any repercussions he had already faced or could face. The notion of illegitimate means structures can be applied to the case of unauthorized immigration in 2 ways. The first relates to the act of unauthorized migration itself, while the second speaks to the social context that unauthorized migrants develop while incarcerated alongside criminal offenders. An argument can be made that the need to migrate is a crucial social or economic goal for many unauthorized immigrants. Nevertheless, most do not possess the necessary human or economic capital to pursue legitimate immigration opportunities such as acquiring a visa. Ultimately, the United States' current consequences approach to unauthorized migration systematically criminalizes an entire segment of the U.S. population and contributes to the continued mass incarceration of people of color in a country with one of the highest incarceration rates in the entire world. The justification of the social consequences of criminalizing unauthorized Mexican migrants in the United States may remain a controversial subject.